Good evening. You're watching the news on Croatian television. Emergency teams in Mexico are searching for people buried under the rubble of tens of buildings that collapsed after a 7.1 magnitude quake struck the capital, killing at least 225 people. Nearly 4 million people in Mexico City are without electricity. This is the second earthquake to hit Mexico this month. A quake on September 7th killed at least 98 people. Chaos erupted. I arrived immediately after the quake. My children go to school nearby. When I heard that the school collapsed, I ran. Thank God my children are safe.
Just in Mexico City right now, we have around 500 police and army units. We have another 200 civilian units on the ground. Please try to be quiet so that we can hear people calling out from the rubble.
After Hurricane Maria raked the Caribbean island state of Dominica, taking at least 7 lives, the storm has made landfall in Puerto Rico, with winds blowing at 230 kilometers per hour. This is the most powerful storm to hit Puerto Rico in 85 years, only 2 weeks after the island suffered extensive damage from Hurricane Irma. This is a disaster for our island. Many areas are still without electricity from Hurricane Irma. Many areas have no water. Can you imagine? It's a disaster. The Kupa River reached its peak early this evening, which means that the threat of flooding in Karlovich is over. However, the problem of the town's exposure to floods remains unsolved. Karlovich, which has 4 rivers running through it, still does not have adequate infrastructure to deal with the threat of flooding. Environment and Energy Minister Tomislav Ćorić pledged today that the government would make the flood defense system in Karlovich a strategic priority and that work on the project would begin in 2018. Ogulin residents are cleaning up after this week's storms that triggered severe flooding in the Karlovac County town. The army, which had been deployed to help with relief efforts, has left. Local officials thank the soldiers for their service. The town is now tallying up the storm damage. The Red Cross is sending dehumidifiers for families whose homes suffered the most water damage. We think we have around 200 families. Most of these spaces are residential. How many do you have? Right now, 46.
We have a preliminary damage assessment for initiating the declaration of a state of natural disaster, and it is 30 million kuna.
The State Commission for Natural Disaster Damages met today in Parliament. Croatia has 20 counties plus the city of Zagreb. And all of them, except for Istria County, submitted claims for some type of natural disaster in 2017. Croatia's budget sets aside 20 million kuna for cleanup and relief efforts in response to such events, but damages this year exceed 2 billion kuna.
Since we have such a large number of claims, we will have to prioritize. We will have to see whether we will take a chronological approach or go by type of disaster, by county and the number and type of events reported by each, by damages to crops or by damages to buildings and infrastructure, and so forth.
Prime Minister Andrej Plenković is due to address the UN General Assembly on Thursday. While in New York, the Prime Minister met with his Slovenian counterpart, Miro Cerar, and confirmed the two leaders will meet in Zagreb next week. He says he is confident Croatia and Slovenia can resolve their issues, namely the border dispute.
We'd like to make some progress in the relations between our two countries. Our approaches are different indeed, but only dialogue can lead us to a solution. My message is clear. Slovenia is a friendly, neighbouring country. We have some open issues, but they are not insurmountable. And by respecting international law, we can come up with a solution.
Croatia's economy is expected to grow 3% in 2018, according to analysts at Addiko Bank. They are basing their predictions on rising exports, investments, consumer spending, and tourism revenues. Continued fiscal consolidation and further reduction of the deficit and public debt should also improve Croatia's credit rating.
If Croatia presses on with reforms, first and foremost by cutting bureaucracy, increasing flexibility in the labor market and the public sector, it is possible that credit rating agencies will respond to that over the next 3 to 6 months and raise the credit rating by one level.
The Social Democrats have decided they will back Constitutional Court nominees already agreed with the HDZ on the condition that Parliament creates a special commission to investigate what caused the crisis at Agrokor and whether government officials were involved. The SDP wants lawmakers to vote on both matters on the same day. This has sparked the latest rift within the party. I can only say this, everyone who voted for Bernardić was duped. During the campaign, he said everyone would be welcomed. Now, instead of a political party, he's creating a cult of his friends. A political party is not a network of friends. People join a party because of certain ideas, programs, values. Unfortunately, what happened yesterday sent a message. If you don't agree with me, you can leave the club, the party.
As far as the meeting of our MPs is concerned, it was closed to the public and will remain so. We had a discussion, and after that the party president presented the conclusions. I have nothing to add. With respect to the way the party operates in a democratic political organization, members have the right to comment and voice their opinions.
The app-based transportation company Uber can continue operating in Croatia. A Zagreb court has rejected a motion from the Ministry of Transportation to ban the application in Croatia. The decision can be appealed within 8 days. The ministry concluded some time ago that Uber drivers were operating illegally in Croatia since they provide taxi services despite the fact that they have not the required licenses and permits to do so. Creditors have submitted more than 230 million kuna in claims against sweets manufacturer Zvečevo. Some of those claims, 4.5 million, are disputed. The company, which employs 272 workers, went into pre-bankruptcy proceedings in June. According to the financial mediation agency FINA, Zvečevo had around 19 million kuna in unpaid bills at the end of May. In sports, the Davis Cup 2018 World Group Draw took place in London today. Croatia will play Canada in the first round on February 2nd through the 4th. The team can count on strong support from fans since Croatia will be hosting. The Croatian Tennis Federation will announce the venue by the end of November. Barring injury, Marin Cilic will continue to captain the team. Conditions are expected to improve on Thursday for much of the country, but the east and far south may still see some rain in the morning. The Konavle region in particular can expect unstable weather. On the coast, there will still be a moderate to high north-northeasterly wind earlier in the day. Winds will fall by the afternoon and shift to a northwesterly direction on the central and south coast. The north can expect west-southwesterly winds in the afternoon and evening. Morning lows will range from 5 to 10 degrees inland and from 11 to 16 on the Adriatic. Afternoon highs will be between 17 and 22 for most of Croatia and between 13 and 17 in the east and the mountains. Warmer but still relatively cool weather is expected in the interior for the rest of the week. There is a chance of light morning frost at higher elevations. It will be partly sunny in the interior, but there is still a chance of the odd shower late in the week in the east and on Saturday in the mountains. Rain is expected again on Sunday in the west, but in significantly smaller amounts than in recent days. On the coast, expect mostly sunny skies and rising temperatures up until Sunday. The north will see more clouds and a higher chance of rain. It will be dry until Saturday, but on Sunday, chances of local showers on the north and central coast will increase significantly. That brings us to the end of our program. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow.